I'd be happy. I don't, is this thing working?
No.
Sorry about that. I can answer that question. Say that right now that the county collects within the greater zip code area that we're talking about $1 million in sales tax. Let's just use a big number. And 2 businesses go out of business and 1 new business comes in. If the amount is still $1 million, they're not going to share anything because that was the benchmark. That was the year that we started with. If there's more money beyond that $1 million that comes in, say that 50 businesses come in and only 2 leave, and all the other businesses continue to do well that are already here, then the additional money beyond $1 million would get shared. And the percentage split we have not agreed on. We have made a recommendation, but it has not been agreed. Now, to answer your question about Willis, I'm equally confused because this has nothing to do with...
I'd be glad to. For instance, right now, you're heading north, and you're going to Eureka, and you stop in Willits, and you get gas. Right now, the 1% is going to the city of Willits. You're in the city of Willits. After the Willits bypass goes through, if you're going north, you'll probably go on, or you'll probably stop in Ukiah to get gas before you go on. Okay, then a percentage of that sales tax will go to the city of Ukiah, and nothing will go to the city of Willits. You understand what I'm saying? No, the city of government of Willits will get nothing because they're not going to, if you're going through, if you fill up outside of Willits, which all of the gas stations will be bypassed, Willits Bill Pice. So whether you go through and don't stop, or if you fill up here in gas in Ukiah before you go up to Willits, if you fill up here in gas in Ukiah, part of that sales tax dollars will go to this, under this tax sharing proposal, part of it will go to the city of Ukiah. But in any case, the city of Willits will be totally eliminated from their cut.
But it's already bypassing Ukiah.
Well, there's a big difference in Ukiah. Count out how many gas stations are out here along the freeway. On the Willits bypass, there's no off ramp. There's a north, south, and off ramp. But the traffic that's going through traffic, there will be no gas station allowed to go out to the freeway. That's the big difference. My point is, City of Willits is going to be a net loss to their sales tax, and under this proposal, which normally the tax dollars that's going now to the City of Willits will actually be part of it diverted to the City of Ukiah. That's something that the city government of Ukiah ought to be a little bit upset about.
If I can jump in there, that's making a very large assumption, John, that the city of Willits is not smart enough to see that train wreck coming and do something about it to continue to attract those folks to come in for just gasoline, but also for groceries and other things. There's been a great number of communities bypassed, Cloverdale being the latest, and they did exactly that. They didn't act preemptively, and now they're acting post, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of recovering that and redesigning their town and making it more attractive.
But most towns that are bypassed, including Willits or Ukiah, have off ramps within its segments to get off and go in services. The Willits bypass has a south exit and a north exit. There's no in the middle, and it's a 6 mile bypass. So in effect, what's going to happen if you're heading north from here to Eureka? You're either going to fill up here in Ukiah and go to Eureka, or you're going to wait until you get to Eureka. The point of it is, Willits is going to be the net loss, and if you're going to fill up here in Mendocino County in Ukiah, that means City of Ukiah is going to be a net gainer.
Well, I can address one thing on that. I think you believe that would be completed in 2014 or 2016, sometime
No, it's going to be starting construction in 2010. It'll be online in 2014.
Right, so it'll be online in 2014, which is a number of years out. So it's foreseeable that this could be maybe a 5-year agreement. And at the end of 5 years, you pull the plug on the agreement and say, we did see that there's too much of a loss, or we do need to do something. You have outs in this agreement. This is not a hard and fast, we are stuck with this for the next 20 years, this is going to hurt our county.
To answer that question, I might not be here in 2014.
And you forgot about Leadville. Maybe they're going to fall up in Leadville.
Okay, that's out of line. Okay, lots of interesting discussion. I want to bring it back. Are there other pending questions, curiosities, concern from board members outside of the committee members? Are there things that we ought to be thinking about, things that we've overstepped our boundaries, things that you still have interest in, Supervisor?
Thank you, Supervisor. I would say that we've had a pretty good discussion, almost approaching 2 hours. I think that the concerns and comments of the other three board members have been clearly stated and heard, and I think we ought to just advise that the direction would be that you just move forward as you are doing, and my only other comment would be include county council in the discussions, and it just takes as long as it takes. If it's back to us in December, that's fine. If it's back to us in February, that's fine. It just is going to take as long as it takes, and I think this looks good because it's a very basic concept that has been used in other communities, and that's what your expertise has brought to the table, and you've made some modifications and changes to the past agreement that was under consideration. And I think, it doesn't mean that all board members will support or won't support or whatever, but it just, I'd say you have the input that you need, and just continue to go forward.
So you
Thank you.
let me understand, is this, I'm